Good morning. Out this morning in the Peak District with Tom Ward, who's been on the channel before. We did Astro last time, I think, at Tyso Windmill. But we've come to Padley Gorge this morning, as it looked like it was going to be foggy, and well, there is a touch of mist in the air, or clag, probably the better term. It's a lot windy than I thought it would be, and yeah, certainly not as foggy as we'd hope it'd be, but still, we're going to go down there, have a look, and see if we can try and frame up some images. So it's Tom's first time here, so yeah, I'm going to show him around a few different spots that I really like to go and check out. I've never actually got a decent image from Padley Gorge, so I was hoping to try and burst that bubble today, but with how it looks at the moment, I'm not so sure, but let's see anyway. So I've come to this set of oaks here at Padley Gorge, which have been shot many times, and I'm certainly not going to improve on anything that anyone's ever done before, but that's not really the goal. The goal really for photography is just coming out, having fun, trying to get some nice images, and that's exactly what we're trying to do this morning. Obviously, as you can see, we do not have the fog that I wanted, but we'll work with it. So I framed up a composition here involving this set of oaks, using this one here as really a main sort of foreground element, and obviously the ones then behind. It's a beautiful scene, but it's very chaotic, because obviously you've got all these twisted branches. So it's about being really precise with your movement of the camera, moving slightly left, slightly right, slightly up, slightly down, and just trying it out until you get an idea for the composition. So that's what I've been doing. Before I actually put my tripod on the camera, I actually got my phone out, walked around, moved around slightly, and sort of framed something that I think kind of works. Then I actually moved to my camera and made sure I got the same sort of composition, and then I finally put it on the tripod. So yeah, I do quite like this. I've got two compositions in mind. The first one, which really is more centered in on the trees here, but then the second one, I've sort of gone slightly wider, but I've angled it slightly down to incorporate a bit of a boulder here and some of these ferns. I don't know if they work. To me, on the back of the camera, I feel like they're a bit of a distraction. But then part of me also thinks they're a bit of a nice addition to the photo as well, setting the scene for what we're seeing here at the moment. So yeah, I'm erring more towards the first one. Anyway, beautiful place. Don't have the conditions we want. If any of these work out, I'll put one on screen in a moment. And Tom's just down over that way, framing up a composition looking sort of up this way. So I might go and have a look down there and see if I can steal a composition. But yeah, wow. Absolutely love Padley Gorge. As I say, I've never got an image that I'm really happy with. Every time I come here, the conditions just aren't quite what I'm looking for. But still, I'm going to walk around. We've got a couple of hours here and see if we can frame up some images. I've just been standing around with Tom, having a bit of a chat and coffee, and yeah, just thought I'd have a look at these trees here, because they are quite interesting. So I did frame up a shot, and I don't know if it works, because you've got, I'll move over this way slightly, this path leading through. I'm not a big fan of paths in woodland photos, just doesn't work for me for whatever reason. Anyway, I have got that path in, but I've put the video lens on my main camera because it's quite a lot wider, and incorporating some of these rocks down here, which you can't see on this camera, sort of leading through to these set of oak trees here. Again, being very careful with the placement of the branches, just making sure nothing really intersects where it really shouldn't. Yeah, I don't know, not sure about it. What I did like though is, I don't know if you can see it just over here, it's almost like the tree has split the rock in half. which I think is kind of cool. But yeah, as a photo, don't know if it works. I will process it and I will put it on the screen. Let me know what you think. And I have seen some more trees down there. Tom's having a look at now in the background. Going to have a look at those, and then I think we're going to go for a bit of a walk. Not quite to Bowl Hill Quarry, just a little bit before that, and see if we can find something there as well. But I do love Padley Gorge. It's not easy. It's beautiful, but it's not easy to get a good composition framed up. So anyway, let me put this one on screen. So Tom's found a pretty nice composition here, certainly one I've not seen from Padley Gorge before. And you've got these, obviously these mossy rocks, which are absolutely beautiful. And what he's doing is he's framing up the sort of the bottom of the image, and almost like a bit of a V shape, which is kind of mimicking sort of the V shape of the branches above. So it's like a sort of, to me, it's almost like a bit of a tunnel going through to the trees in the background there. Yeah, good spot by Tom. I'm not going to take it, but if it works out any good, Tom's going to send me it and I'll put it on the screen now. But yeah, great spot, Tom. So come to probably one of the most photographed trees in the Peak District. A tree I've never shot before, but it's a proper honeypot location. In all of the photography guidebooks of the Peak District, you've probably seen this tree and this mill wheel here. But hey, I'm here, I'm going to shoot it. But I'm going to set myself a little bit of a challenge. So I'm going to grab what I perceive to be the classic photo, but I want to try and get 5 different photos of this tree, maybe with the mill wheel, maybe not, but just try and frame up 5 different images of this one honeypot location. It's probably going to turn out absolute trash, but fun having a go, and also a good practice in trying to frame up compositions. So Tom is just taking his photos now. When I start framing up my compositions, I'll talk you through them and see what we get. So I've just taken what I believe to be the honeypot shot from this location, and it's a lot more tricky than I realised, for a few different reasons. So when I started framing this up, immediately in my head I wanted to put the millstone here on the sort of bottom right hand third, and the tree pretty much on the top left hand third, which is fine in principle, but there are a few things that are just making it look a little bit out of place. So to start off with, the mill wheel here, I had to get the tripod here, as you can see, really quite high, to create a bit of separation with a rock which is just beyond it. But also worrying about the focal length as well, because I started off really quite wide, sort of about 16, 17 mil, but I found it was throwing that tree, which is kind of really, you know, a central figure in this scene. It was throwing that out, just making it look really small in the scene, which, you know, it's quite a dominant sort of looking tree. So by going to a sort of, you know, higher focal length, sort of 20 mil plus, was bringing that tree in, but it was introducing some other issues, which was, you know, things at the edge started to sort of look a bit out of place on the edge of the scene. And there's a rock just down here on sort of the bottom left hand third, which is just encroaching into the scene, which, yeah, is just looking a bit unsightly. I've got kind of 2 options with that. I might, because I do tend to apply a bit of a vignette to most of my photos, a vignette might hide that a little bit, but alternatively what I could look to do is just remove that coming in into the scene, because it is just a touch coming into the scene. I've got no issues with doing that. So yeah, I'm going to put this one on screen. So that's photo number 1. I also I'm going to take a portrait photo in a moment's time, and I'll talk you through that composition. So I have just taken shot number 2, which is a portrait image, and I think I prefer this to landscape, if I'm honest with you, because I am able to cut out a lot more of the distractions that I was finding with the landscape image, namely these rocks down here. I don't know if you can see those on the camera there. So yeah, the rocks down here, also to go in a little bit tighter as well so that you don't lose the tree so much being at a wider focal length. And what you also get to do as well is, I think I mentioned it before, you get to include a lot more of these branches, which, you know, are really a dominant part of this scene here. You know, the tree is quite menacing looking, and you want to try and bring that out in this photo, I believe. So yeah, I much prefer this one. I'm going to put this on screen now, and I've thought of another wide angle shot, which I'll talk you through in a minute's time. So photo number 3, I've gone for a very wide scene, which goes against everything that I talked about a moment ago, where you're losing sort of that impact of that size of that tree. I'm actually at 16mm here. Again, pretty much in the same place that I was taking the first photo, using the millstone here on the bottom right hand side. The tree is pretty much central in this particular scene, but there's these rocks here that were encroached in the scene before, which were looking a bit unsightly, but by coming ultra wide, you get that sort of leading effect from the left hand side and on obviously the right hand side where the millstone is. So I quite like it. I don't know if it's going to work, but it is something different from here, I think. So I'll put that one on screen now. Yeah, 2 more shots to find. So, shot number 4 in the bag. Come round away from the mill wheel now, and just using some of these rocks really as a bit of a foreground. So what I've done here is there's like kind of 3 rocks here in the background. It's sort of like framing, if you like, the bottom of the tree. Paying real attention to the root system of that tree, which is really quite something. It's, you know, it really makes the scene. Yeah, portrait orientation. I'm probably going to opt for something. It's either going to be a square crop or it's going to be a 4x5. I'm not too sure yet, because I want to cut out some of these rocks at the bottom here and just have these 3 main ones framing the tree. Really quite like this. So let me put that one on screen. And I've just had a thought about another composition, pretty much from the same place I'm in now. Okay, so shot number 5 in the bag. Shooting from exactly the same location I was shooting a moment ago, but I've gone for more of a wider composition here. Come back a little bit and basically in portrait orientation, using more of these rocks more as a lead-in. So there's one rock here which is kind of just coming in the bottom of the frame, but it's got sort of like a nice pointy shape to it. So it's kind of pointing the eye into the frame. Again, onto some more rocks in the background, and then into that tree with that beautiful root system. So yeah, I've really enjoyed this challenge. It really does open up the eye to looking for more compositions and trying to refine them. So highly recommend it's something you try yourself. If you're struggling at all, you know, when you get to a honeypot location, try and challenge yourself, try and get something a little bit different than the classic shot. Definitely, by all means, grab the classic shot. Why not? You're there. But you know, if you can get that in the bag, then start thinking about trying to get something a little bit different. I think you'll come away really happy and really enjoy the process. Tom is right down next to the waterfalls down there, so I'm going to have a look and see what he's up to. I might try and bag some myself. So I'm going to put this last photo on the screen now. Out of the 5, let me know which one you prefer, and I'm going to catch up with Tom. So we started to head back towards the car and came across this beautiful specimen of an oak tree here. How we missed it on the way down, neither of us know, but it's absolutely stunning. Just the lovely shape to it. The branches are all sort of really twisted and lots of almost like loops. And yeah, framed up a couple of images. I've taken a few different compositions. Again, being very careful, as I try to be with all my photos, with the edges of the frame, just making sure there's nothing sort of encroaching into the image that shouldn't really be there. So yeah, framed up a couple of images with my wide angle lens, sort of between sort of 16 to sort of 20 mil. Incorporating as well this root system on top of this rock here, because it's got a lovely sweep to it. So using that really, using the advantage of the wide angle lens, where you can kind of just see this sweeping in, and it almost has this flow where the roots is kind of sweeping in from the left to the right, and it sort of follows around to this main branch here. It's just a beautiful, beautiful scene, and you've got some lovely soft light just breaking through the canopy here. I think this could be the find of the day. Kudos to Tom, he actually spotted the composition to start off with. And we've basically, between us, we've probably spent probably half an hour here now, just playing with it and refining it ever so slightly. So yeah, I think we're both going to come away from this very, very happy with this photo. And I don't think it needs fog, which is always good in woodland. Because you've got this nice dark background of the valley on the other side of the stream here, and obviously the light that's lighting up these branches, yeah, there's enough separation to make it look a compelling image. So very, very happy with this, but I think we're probably done for the day. Really enjoyed my morning out with Tom, and yeah, hope you've enjoyed it too. So anyway, just want to say thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed this, please consider hitting the like button, and if you've really enjoyed it, it'd really help if you subscribe to the channel. And obviously if you have any comments, please leave them below. I'll be happy to respond to you. So anyway, thanks for watching. See you soon.